Greetings, everybody. It is Napalm Dawn here on G for G. Today we are going to be discussing some things you can do if you are truly dead set on playing Marvel Avengers Alliance in some form of a mobile manner. Now, I have tended to always in the past discuss the fact that Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux is not going to be on mobile devices. You're not going to see it on Android. You're not going to see it on iOS. In the future, if the winds of change ever do blow, you will never see it on iOS because of the fact that as of right now, iOS has a policy that they don't sideload. You would have to have a jailbroken device in order to get a non-store installable file on an iOS device. It's called a IPA. Not to be confused with India Pale Ale, which of course is a beer, but an IPA is an installable file for iOS systems. Android, which sideloads via APK, there are ways of installing not from the official Google Play Store. The most famous case of that is, of course, Fortnite from Epic. A lawsuit just actually kind of got resolved concerning that. So, yes, Unity could compile and translate into iOS devices through IPA and Android devices through APK. You can output from Unity to those. The problem is you still have to troubleshoot pathing and the way the game looks for files and how it is different from Mac and Windows and everything. I've done a video in the past on the fact that a Steam Deck is the best way to do this. That you can get a Steam Deck, you can unzip Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux on a Steam Deck, and then use the Proton wrappers to play essentially, a Windows game, a Windows executable on the Steam Deck. Now, admittedly, that is a little more complicated. It's not the hardest thing in the world to do it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but there's tons of YouTube videos out there. People constantly put other stores on their Steam Deck and get them to work. So, for example, you can get Chiaki, which allows you to play your PlayStation 5 on your Steam Deck using essentially a PS Play or Remote Play. You can install the Windows version of the Xbox Game Pass on the Steam Deck, and essentially you're running it through the Edge browser. You can get the Epic Store on a Steam Deck. You can get Good Old Games, GOG, on a Steam Deck. So there are ways of doing it. The Battle.net client, you can play Overwatch and Diablo 4, not from Steam, but through the Battle.net client on a Steam Deck. So it is possible. There's plenty of tutorials out there. I started getting my feet wet in that area when I was looking how to play Diablo 4 beta on the Steam Deck back in the day. So it is doable. I'm going to amend that video a little bit and kind of provide an update on the best way that you would be able to play Marvel Avengers Alliance in a mobile setup so far here in March of 2024. Now, this may eventually change, obviously, but the best way to do it, if you do not own a Mac OS device or a Windows operating system device, you have no computers or no laptops whatsoever, one of the best ways you can do it is get a Rog Ally, an Asus Rog Ally. Rog is Republic of Gamers. It's the really gamer-heavy division of Asus. It's often joked as quote-unquote gamer colors. The modern Star Wars trilogy, everything's all black and red. But the Asus Rog The non-extreme version of the Asus Rog has been dropped to $400 at Best Buy. You can ignore this location over here. I'm not down in Miami. This is done on purpose. It's a red herring. But this is one of the cheapest ways that you would be able to play Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux in both a home setting and a mobile setting if you chose. Now, let me explain. It used to be considerably higher. The non-extreme version was up at about $600, and the extreme version was up at about $800. They've had a price dip recently, specifically tied to Best Buy. Now, what is different about the Asus Rog Ally is that it runs a full version of Windows, unlike Steam Deck, which runs a specific Linux-based build of Valve's Steam. This is, for all purposes, a Windows laptop put into a Nintendo Switch style package. Speaking of Nintendo Switch style, if you really liked the removable controllers of a Nintendo Switch, there is also the Lenovo Legion Go, which is a full Windows-based device, and these joysticks on the side slide out. Gaming performance, a comparison between the two, the general consensus is the Legion Go is heavier, has a nicer screen because it is bigger. However, because the screen is bigger, sometimes graphics do not show up as well, as they're not oriented to run on the slightly bigger screen of the Legion Go, which is an 8.8-inch screen compared to 7 on the Steam Deck and 7 on the ROG. Also, it is heavier by quite a bit, almost half as heavy as the Asus Rog Ally, and it kind of chews up its battery a little bit quicker. But if you're a really heavy Switch person, you can disengage these controls and even use them as a form of a mouse mode. And I think there's like a little dock that comes with it, and you can like dock the controller to it and sort of use it like a mouse. But again, like the Rog Ally, this is a full Windows 11 on these devices. So if you're familiar with the Windows OS, these are going to be right at home. Now, there are challenges on these devices. There is a learning curve in how to navigate things that aren't immediately a game for you to jump in and play, like a game that is designed to be played on joysticks and on these devices. And Marvel Avengers Alliance, would be one of them. It is not designed to be a console game by any stretch. However, in having tested Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux on a Steam Deck, touch controls work just fine. So if I was playing this on a touchscreen right now, I can tap on the Neurotrope and then tap on one of my characters, and it would work. It's not always super, super perfect. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get there. But that was on the Steam Deck, where this is not native code to the Steam Deck. This is designed to be run on Windows, not Linux. So it is running through emulation. Now, on a ROG Ally or the Lenovo Legion Go, or there's even a new player that's coming in the market called the ASUS Claw, not the ASUS Claw, MSI Claw, I think it is. The people have said the MSI Claw is, there it is, yeah, the Claw A1M. People have said the Claw is very, very expensive for not a lot of extra features. It is very much like the ROG Ally, but it's considerably more expensive. Therefore, it is of less value than the ROG Ally. But if you are at least in the United States or can spend the American dollar, and you have a Best Buy near you, and you are really, 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 really addicted to Marvel Avengers Alliance, you really desperately want to play Redux, but you don't have any mobile options available to you, then the Rog Ally is the way to go. I mean, I can't sit here and honestly recommend to somebody, hey, you can spend $400 in order to go ahead and play, this game that used to exist on Facebook that you could conceivably play for free, or you could whale it out and spend hundreds of dollars a month on the game if you wanted to. We're in post-pandemic times. Things are different out there when it comes to finances and income like that. And you go out of the States, of course, it's not always for glory, huzzah, in other countries with finances and everything. But if you want a device that can actually be a laptop, if you wanted to, be a desktop if you wanted to, but then also pick up and go mobile and go sit in a park, get some sun, listen to some birds, watch people jogging around the park or something. Honestly, the Rog Ally is a really good way to go. You're going to have an easier experience than the Steam Deck, most likely, because it's not Linux, it's Windows. The touchscreen should suffice, and then you can bring the Rog home and do a dock. So you can get any one of the docks that are available for these consoles, or here, Insignia Asus Rog Ally docking station. If you look at these, they hold it upright. They hook up USB-C onto the port, which on the Steam Deck and the Rog, it's on top. In the back, you can see Ethernet. You can see, here's Ethernet. You can see HDMI, USB-C in, a whole bunch of USB outs. You can take this dock, hook up a full keyboard to it, a full mouse, a monitor, even Ethernet it into your router if it's within range. Obviously, other docks like JSO and others have even more features. Some have RGB. Some have multiple displays out, like HDMI and DisplayPort, two HDMIs. You can treat it as a full-blown computer. And for $400, something that lets you go portable and take it with you, just like a Nintendo Switch, just like a phone or a tablet, but then go home and essentially get a full computing experience out of it. Honestly, Steam Decks, Legion Go, Rog Allies, MSI Claw, when they come around, I think they're out in Europe now. They may be coming to the States and North America soon. It's not a bad way to go. If you are looking to get back into a PC sphere or a laptop sphere, maybe you haven't had one of those devices in a while, haven't felt the need for it, but maybe kind of feeling the need for it, and you do want to really play Redux again, and you don't have a device to play it on, Steam Deck, Rog Ally, MSI Claw, Lenovo Legion Go, they're good ways. They're good ways to do it because the game does work on touchscreen, and then you can just bring it home and get a dock experience and use it as a full-blown computer to put the display on the monitor, use a full mouse, use a full keyboard. There you go. One of the other things you can do if you do want to play it mobile, but don't want to spend the money on one of the devices that we're talking about, but you do have a PC at home. Say you have a PC or a laptop, that's where you've been playing Beta 5, Beta 5.2, like what I'm doing here with Beta 5.6, and then eventually Beta 6 itself. You can add it to Steam as a non-game. You go to Games, add a non-Steam game to your library, find the beta executable, add it. Once you get Steam on your computer or laptop, and you have a mobile device, let's say it's an Android device, you can go ahead and get this Steam Link on iOS, on Android. I think it's on iOS. These two have fought over this before, but at least on Android, you can install the Steam Link, get the two connected, and then even non-Steam games can be played via Steam Link. So that means something if you actually got the physical Steam Link hardware, which was somewhat popular a few years ago, or you had a Steam Deck or one of these, you could take the Steam Deck, like hook it up to your big downstairs TV that you watch movies on, dock it, run HDMI into the TV, grab a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard or whatever, and literally sit there and play Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux on a 70-inch screen if you wanted to, by doing it this way. Just get Steam Link here on your main computer or your main laptop. And you see here I have beta 5.5, beta 5.6. Add them as outside of Steam games to your launcher. And then as long as Steam is running on your main PC, there you go. You are all set now. If you had a power outage, like, again, if you were at the park and you're on your phone and you're playing Steam Link, but then back at home, like the power goes out or something, yeah, you're going to lose. You're going to lose access to your Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. But in a world in which I consistently get questions year after year, month after month, week after week, how is this going to be on a phone? Is this going to be on a tablet? Is this going to be on a Chromebook? I'm trying to offer you guys ways of doing it as best as I possibly can, because there's not going to be a direct way ever for iOS. 99.9% sure of that. And when it comes to Android, 95% sure you're not going to see an Android version, because it is considerably extra work and you have to change all the pathing of how the game operates as compared to Mac OS and Windows. But, at least there are some options. Now, what you've seen me play here in the background are some characters you haven't seen me cover on YouTube videos yet, like Quicksilver, Beast, and Tigra. I do plan to show them off more directly in a second video, but I want to dedicate time to them and separate them out for discussion about, Redux on mobile devices, as they are unassociated, and I feel it's a little unfair that they don't get their time to shine if I'm just sitting here ranting and rambling about mobile devices. So, again, those are your options. I think the Rog Ally price on Best Buy is permanent. It doesn't seem to be a sale from what I have seen so far. It does seem to be a permanent dip, a permanent adjustment of the price. So you should be good to go in that regard, no matter when you look into it. And again, this is beta 5.6. This is not beta 6. I do not have access to it yet. I do not have the ability to tell you when beta 6 will drop, because I don't know a release date. The team hasn't set a release date yet. It's not like I know it, but I'm keeping it under wraps. I, at this point, have zero news as to when Beta 6 will be available. I'm in almost daily discussion with the devs, and I know the bugs that I find, and I report it to them, and I've heard which ones they fixed and which are new. And I will say it is really solid that mostly everything I report to them, they've told me they've fixed already. They're not getting surprised by any of my reports whatsoever. So hopefully the projected time frame of beta 6 being in the first quarter of 2024 does still look really solid. But remember, nothing is set in stone. It could take a little bit longer, could take a little bit shorter. So just hang in there and wait, like everybody else, including myself. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do happen to have one of these devices out there that I've talked about, the Ally, the Steam Deck, the Lenovo Legion Go, or you've done Steam Link on a phone or a tablet back to your main computer or laptop, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know about your experience down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux video. Take care, everybody.